Good afternoon, and what a beautiful afternoon it is as well. I mean, London in the sunshine, you cannot beat it. I'm Tamara Rogers, Chief Marketing Officer.
And I'm Frank Haleon, Chief R&D Officer.
And between the two of us, we bring a wealth of experience in the development and the building of strong brands in consumer goods. Brian introduced our Winners One strategy and our 4 strategic drivers, one of which was superior brands and health in more hands. And we're going to take you through how we build superior brands and what we mean by superiority, which for us is about focusing on what really matters to the consumer, and then show you a series of examples of how our superior brands unlock those 3 growth opportunities you heard Brian outline earlier. And we'll give some insight into how we're evolving our capabilities to really maintain that competitiveness. But first, we're going to spend a few minutes just grounding you in our categories and our brands. Starting then with the categories. We operate in resilient and growing categories, reaching 1.5 billion consumers already, with our portfolio of fantastic brands. And we have the ambition, as Brian shared, to reach 1 billion more. Now, we've made a decision to change how we report our categories, to strategically line them up better with the opportunity that we see ahead, and to give you improved visibility on our performance. As you can see here, we've broken up digestive health and other into digestive health, therapeutic skin health and other, and we're moving our US smoking cessation business into respiratory health, given the link between better breathing and respiratory health outcomes for consumers. Now, we believe that you know the great brands we have in digestive health of Eno, Tums, and Benefiber, but we have talked less about the therapeutic skin health brands. Now, these tend to be pharmacy-based, strong, local brands, such as Bactroban in China, which is all about supporting wound healing. Fenistil across Europe, helping to stop that annoying itch from insect bites. And Abreva and Zavirax, which are fantastic antiviral treatments, a really efficacious way to clear up cold sores fast. These great brands have a role to play, enabling us to achieve our ambitions, as they have attractive margins and they sit in the faster growing subcategories of skin health. Now, all the categories we play in are substantial, ranging from the largest, vitamins, minerals and supplements at 65 billion, to digestive health at 18 billion. And we're well positioned, typically occupying the number 1 or number 2 positions. Overall, combined, these categories are set to grow at 3 to 4% in the medium term. And we've got confidence in our ability to outperform that, in line with the guidance that Brian gave earlier. So now let's turn to how we build superior brands to drive that sustainable growth. Brands which are relevant to the audiences we engage with. Brands that deliver superior and premium solutions. So let's start with what superiority does mean to us at Haleon. How do we define it, and how do we go about it? Well, of course, in line with our behaviours, we start consumer first, which simply means we focus on understanding really what matters most to consumers and experts. Once we've identified that, we put all our time into building superiority, excelling and delivering where it matters most. Doing this consistently is key. Consistency builds trust. Trust means that we become the consumer's first choice when their need arises. And this ultimately results in creating brands that are leaders in the categories we compete in. We live this across Haleon. We're consistently looking to measure our superiority against both our ambition, but also against our competitors. We can tell you how we build superior brands, but as we said, the measure is what matters to consumers. So don't just hear it from us. Let's listen to what our consumers have literally said or written to our team at the Consumer Relations Centre.
Thank you for the excellent product you have created. I am 63 and disabled and have difficulty walking. And if it wasn't for the brilliant products, I wouldn't be able to move around as I used to. It has been a blessing. Even when sitting down, I used to be in a lot of pain, but after applying your brilliant product, I feel relief.
I'm only quite young, and I lost my teeth through no fault of my own, pure medical reasons only. Polydent have helped me along the way to keep my teeth in, keep them nice and white, and give me the added confidence that they won't fall out.
I want to tell you how much Abreva really and truly means to me. I have suffered from cold sores since I was a young teen, and I'm now 65 years old. My life has been plagued with cold sores that spread and covered my entire upper and lower lips. It was a horrid time. I can't write a book here, so just let me say Abreva is a tiny little tube that has been huge in my life.
Now my headaches start small and then explode into full-on migraines. I had no idea how to treat a migraine, and then my friend recommended Advil. I never turned to Advil before, but after taking my first one, I've never turned back. Quick relief that actually happens. Absolutely nothing else works. Thank you for honestly getting me back to living, but also making me a better mom so I can just be there with my kiddo without being in pain.
As we develop the thinking behind superiority, we identify 5 key levers: science, experience, experts, communication, and execution. These levers form our superiority framework. All are important, but for each brand growth initiative, we pick the levers that will make the most difference, and then we double down. That way, we build brand superiority. And this is underpinned by our strong consumer and condition understanding and capabilities. So let's go deeper into each one. Our world-leading science program is multidimensional, designed to deliver health benefit to consumers through innovation, renovation, claims, as well as cutting-edge ingredient and material research, and science visualization, to name a few. Experience. Winning on key experience attributes is critical. This includes excelling in packaging design, product sensorial, and inclusivity. Experts. Healthcare professionals, such as dentists and pharmacists, confidently recommend products when they have a good depth of knowledge about how our products deliver, ultimately leading to trusted recommendation for their patient. Communications. It's all about lending our meaningful brand superiority through relevant, high-impact, and memorable campaign to drive awareness. And lastly, execution, which is so critical. Supporting our brand with media, ensuring they are accessible, widely distributed, and easy to find on shelf and online to convert awareness to purchase. You will hear more from Filippo on how we are doing that in pharmacy, a key channel for Haleon, which also demonstrates our capability with expert engagement. Enough theory, Tamara. Let's bring this to life now.
I agree, Frank. Let's get into how we're applying the levers of the framework to build the superiority that drives both brand and category growth for each of the 3 opportunities that Brian headlined earlier. First, by closing the instance versus treatment gap across all of our categories. Second, innovation-led premiumization to provide meaningful benefits and better health outcomes for consumers. And finally, driving penetration amongst lower-income consumers. And by this, we mean all consumer groups outside of the higher income bracket. The incidence versus treatment gap is one that we see across all of our categories. We see a huge opportunity here. Let's take, for example, oral health. You've already heard Brian mention the opportunity in tooth sensitivity, where a third of people who suffer with tooth sensitivity treat. The rest of them don't. And in gum health globally, we know that 53% of adults suffer and experience bleeding gums, yet only 60% of them, 6% of them don't use a therapeutic product to treat those symptoms. If we extrapolate this for oral health, it means that billions of people are not treating those issues. Closing just 10% of that treatment gap would see us double our oral health business. So turning to Parodontax, our oral health brand specifically designed to address gum problems, we looked to China. It is the largest gum health market in the world at 860 million in value, where around 70% of adults suffer from gum problems or poor gum health. This is almost double the instance we see in European countries. Yet only 40% of sufferers are purchasing a specialist toothpaste for gum. With the majority of the Chinese offerings only relieving symptoms, not addressing the actual root cause, we saw a fantastic opportunity to bring our clinically proven treatment for gum problems to this market. So we launched Parodontax there very recently. We'll now walk through how we're unlocking this opportunity around the world, using the 3 superiority levers most meaningful to build Parodontax's competitive advantage. And these 3 are science, experts, and communications with consumers.
So first is science. Recognizing the high prevalence of gum issues, we knew that we had to continue our focus on efficacy and demonstrating our meaningful superiority. We have run a number of studies, and the latest study demonstrates clear superiority of our unique sodium bicarbonate formula versus regular toothpaste, with a 2.5 times greater reduction in gum bleeding. Clinical results like this don't just live in our labs. They support superior claims that persuade the consumer to purchase. Recent data show Parodontax not only treats, but reverses gum problems. We rapidly leverage this powerful claim, adding it to our pact, as you can see here, strengthening the overall proposition. And the result, we have created a powerful product range, supported by a differentiated set of claims. This is already used by 44 million consumers to solve their gum issues. Now let's look at experts. Consumers tell us that a product recommendation from a healthcare professional is the biggest influence on their likelihood to try Parodontax. Knowing that new scientific data is extremely meaningful to dentists, we focus on demonstrating our superiority with this expert audience. We have recently conducted a new study, in fact, a first of its kind in the world, on Parodontax efficacy against plaque, a major cause of gum problems. And I'm going to share with you a visualization for experts that demonstrates the superior plaque removal. You will see plaque, which is described as a biofilm. Let's see what they see, the science in action. It's an extract of a film our dental reps use when discussing Parodontax on their daily call.
Treatment with 67% sodium bicarbonate was shown to remove the soft upper layer of biofilm, resulting in a 40% reduction in biovolume. Repeated treatments softened the remnant biofilm matrix, resulting in an 80% total biofilm volume reduction. Contributes to the clinical results seen for Parodontax 67% sodium bicarbonate toothpaste.
So what this shows is we significantly improve gum health markers for patients with gingivitis from just 3 weeks of use. As a result, we are the #1 recommending brand for gum problems in the key markets of France and Italy.
And now to communications. Knowing that so many consumers don't know how to treat their gum problems, we designed our communications to really clearly demonstrate the superiority of Parodontax. Using a very distinctive character to build standout, difference and memorability, Parodontax challenges consumers to find a better way.
Great pair of lungs. Shame the same can't be said about your gums. You need Parodontax. It actively repairs gums from 1 week. High five! We're not there yet. Parodontax. The gum experts.
And the idea also works brilliantly in social formats.
You need the gum experts. Parodontax. Parodontax.
So this communication program is running in all of our top markets, and within the first year has seen us make big gains in awareness and increasing our brand strength. And we've recorded record shares across the last 3 years. So to summarize this one, the focus on meaningful superiority from the 3 levers of science, expert and communications has delivered excellent results, unlocking that incidence versus treatment gap opportunity for consumers with gum problems. So we've achieved over a decade of above category growth. We've increased penetration with growth in 80% of our measured markets. And in our EMEA heartland, 73% of the gum category growth over the last year was driven by Parodontax, growing both our brand and the category. And we're fostering premiumization, with 35% of new users to Parodontax in the UK and in the US having traded up from regular toothpaste. Now on to innovation-led premiumisation, the second of our growth opportunities. Now we're confident that our innovation-led premiumisation across all of our categories will continue to be a valuable source of growth for us based on the macro trends that we see. Modern living, strained healthcare systems, the consumer's desires to more proactively manage their own health. All these things mean that many consumers are seeking more than just the basic solutions. The fact that we already do premium is another one for believing. In our 6 categories, we are weighted to the 120 price index market segments. And our capabilities in insight and trusted science ensure that we deliver the very best to consumers, resulting in our premium ranges being worth paying more for. So let's focus on respiratory and Otrivin, and specifically nasal decongestants, where we know that there is an opportunity for innovation-led premiumisation. In our key markets, an incredible 65% of the population actually suffer from nasal congestion. Yet only half of them treat at the source of the issue with nasal sprays. Our nasal decongestant Otrivin is already the clear leader in the category, but insight revealed that some people were put off from trying this format due to discomfort, with 66% of consumers noting that traditional sprays felt like a jet to the back of their nose. So we heard this, and we chose to unlock growth through premium innovation by doubling down on the meaningful superiority framework levers of science, experience, and communications.
So let's start with science. Otrivin's superior speed of treatment compared to existing over-the-counter pills is a great example of focusing on what matters most to consumers. Building from the core product's efficacy, the team delivered a breakthrough fine mist applicator via a patented design to address key consumer pain points, achieving a gentle and comfortable mist experience, whilst retaining superior efficacy. Let me bring it to life for you.
Otrivin New Nasal Mist. Nasal congestion is described by patients as a reduced ability to breathe, and it negatively affects quality of life. Nasal congestion is characterized by dilation of the blood vessels and swelling of the mucous membrane. Otrivin New Nasal Mist provides a comfortable, fast and long-lasting relief from nasal congestion by reducing vasodilation. Otrivin New Nasal Mist is applied topically to the nose and comes out as a gentle, fine mist, reaching wide to the inflamed or swollen areas in the nasal cavity, which are typically affected by common cold, allergic rhinitis, and rhinosinusitis.
We also ran a real-world evidence study, capturing feedback from consumers, which demonstrated important quality of life improvement, and particularly in sleep and vitality from the first day of use. By doing this, we double our weekly average recommendation from pharmacists in our core markets, and we are able to support meaningful claims to bring to life benefits for consumers. Now moving to experience. We built an innovative and consumer-preferred experience by leveraging a combination of internal experts across sensory, product, and packaging development to develop a world-first mist applicator. The new packaging releases a comfortable fine mist without any drip at the back of the throat. This brings a world-first one squeeze of button actuator, easier for everybody, and support inclusivity for people with dexterity issues. And a shorter nozzle, which is less invasive up the nose, much more acceptable to convert non-users of sprays. As a result, we have improved the consumer experience and are driving penetration. For example, achieving between 7 and 10% increases in Poland and the United Kingdom.
Those penetration increases are really significant. So now to communications. With such a great product and great scientific evidence, we were able to create superior quality of life claims and highly memorable communications that celebrate just how much better the usage experience really is. Let's take a look.
Nasal sprays can feel like this. Say goodbye to spray struggles with brand new Otrivin Nasal Mist. It's more comfortable for your nose because it's not a blast, it's a mist, and unblocks in 2 minutes. So you can feel like this. Breathe your best with new Otrivin Nasal Mist.
This has been really effective advertising that's built our difference. At the same time, we gave the brand a powerful, new, ownable visual identity, on pack and across all consumer touchpoints. We drove clear communication of strong claims, supported by that real-world evidence, and launched a new brand architecture, which really stands out and enables consumers to navigate. They can see the benefits of the different variants. And in our researched markets, we have seen these increases in findability by 42%. And purchase intent is up by 8%, helping to support trial and the lifts in penetration that Franck just shared. So in summary, we've lifted the superiority of Otrivin with a premium innovation, which has delivered outstanding results. So 7 markets have launched our nasal mist in 2024, and we're rolling out to more markets. We're growing our market share where we have launched this superior experience, and we're holding share in those markets where we're yet to launch. And our initial results show it's working. In the early launch markets of the UK and Sweden, we're bringing new users into Otrivin, with more than half of them being first-time spray users.
And finally, to the third growth opportunity, driving penetration amongst lower-income consumers. Today, our penetration is weighted to the highest income band, at around 30%. If we look at lower-income bands, and particularly in emerging markets, we see a significant penetration opportunity, as our reach is about half of that. We also know lower-income consumers are looking for products they can trust to deliver real health benefits that are readily available and come at an affordable price point. We have delivered against these needs historically, with brands including Grandpa and Inno, and see Haleon as well positioned to deliver even more widely across our super brand portfolio. In VMS, half of the world's population have micronutrient deficiency, and 2 billion of those suffer from deficiency-related conditions, and primarily in emerging markets. So for our specific example, we are going to focus on Brazil. The category is already huge in Brazil and growing at 6%, but with the category currently only reaching a quarter of households. Low-income consumers account for over 70% of the population. Incredibly, 2 out of 3 Brazilians have insufficient daily nutritional intake. Yet, an incredible 81% are trying to improve their health. Centrum is a well-known and desired brand in Brazil, but 31% of consumers felt it lacked relevance for them. And 40% said pricing was an issue. As a result, category penetration is low. So, an amazing opportunity to grow with the right proposition. We knew we needed a tailored consumer-led answer and focus on the key levers of science and execution. And starting with science, we use our understanding of nutrition deficiency from a study of more than 30,000 Brazilians to create Centrum Essential, a product specifically formulated for the needs of the lower-income Brazilian consumer, with the 8 vitamins and minerals most relevant for this audience. So first launched in 2023, swiftly followed in 2024 with single-dose effervescent powder that bring a different experience and deliver against Brazilian top 2 most wanted benefit of immunity and energy in a very convenient and portable format.
And moving to the all-important execution. This launch is a great example of delivering superiority to a specific audience. To ensure that we made the brand relevant, real care was taken with superior execution in 2 ways. First, an absolute focus on affordability, hitting a key accessible price point, significantly lower than the regular Centrum adult price, from the #1 multivitamin brand in Brazil. Secondly, we really focused distribution on the retailers that specifically target lower income consumers, so that we were offering what these consumers need, where they want to shop. And having a trusted brand such as Centrum creating tailored offerings at compelling price points has enabled relationships with new distributors. And we've created new brand new listings in 5,000 incremental stores. That's a meaningful increase to brand distribution. So what are the results that we're seeing here? Well, these products are already driving penetration, with 50% of volume growth coming from new users to the multivitamins and minerals category. The launch of those new effervescent powders continued this positive momentum, with 70% of users in the first 6 months also being new to the brand. So this range is helping Centrum to build its market leadership position and achieve its highest global share in the last 3 years. This is just one great example of how we're unlocking penetration growth in a new audience. We'll extend this, as well as other successful launches designed for lower-income consumers across the categories, to more markets. So we've shown you 3 examples of how our capabilities of consumer understanding and trusted science ensure that we build superiority. They also demonstrate how we're unlocking that growth headroom through closing the instance versus treatment gap, through innovation-led premiumization, and lifting our penetration amongst lower-income consumers. And we'll continue to apply this approach, successfully building superior brands and driving our growth momentum going forward.
And talking about the future, Tamara, it's essential that we continue to leverage our strengths and raise the bar on our capabilities to sustain our position and deliver growth. We are going to cover 5 key capabilities, which we are continuously strengthening to ensure we are sharp for tomorrow as well as today. We'll start with technical mastery. We are investing around £200 million in new cutting-edge R&D facility, and many of which are unique to Haleon. Facility including state-of-the-art prototyping suites and labs for mastering ingredients, formulation, or bioactive, as well as experiential spaces for direct interaction with consumers, which will ensure we continue to deliver pioneering innovation with even greater technical agility and speed to market. Moving to regulatory excellence. Our regulatory excellence is world-class. We continue to advance this, so we can shape the future of healthcare policy and regulation and innovate with new digital solutions, as well as continuing to actively support product licenses already in place for our portfolio in this complex and ever-changing regulatory environment. For example, in China, we secured a direct approval of our Voltaren 2% gel as an OTC classification, rather than needing to be prescription status first. In my opinion, our regulatory excellence and data-first approach enables this, saving years of time versus a typical regulatory process. And superior evidence generation. Science is at the heart of our brands, and we are going to continue to invest here, but in new and digital ways. In addition to our high-quality clinical study, we will be expanding those we do with consumers in a real-life setting. Known as real-world evidence studies, they provide robust insight into both usage and quality of life benefits of our products. This allows us to unlock meaningful superior claims that ultimately drive recommendation and purchase.
Now looking at partnerships. Partnerships are a key way of how we are building superior brands now and into the future, extending our knowledge and our authority across multiple stakeholders in the industry. Our launch of the Haleon Pain Management Institute is a good example here. It's a body of multidisciplinary experts working to deliver education and skills development for frontline healthcare professionals, and really building scientific credentials through research and partnerships. These kinds of partnerships builds trust in Haleon and positively influences recommendations. And finally, future fit marketing, because it's not only about continuing to do good work, it's also continuous improvement in how we do it too. Smarter work with tech and data adds value. We're doing this in lots of ways already, and I'm particularly excited about our growing use of data signals that informs our media activation for our seasonal businesses. For example, adjusting spend real time as the incidence of cold and flu rises or falls. And our data capabilities are also growing in AI, of course, where we've trained our enterprise AI platform to speed up innovation. And we're already seeing that accelerating ideation on new products and claims for brands like Voltaren, Centrum, and Panadol. And as you'll hear from Dawn later, our marketing capabilities are underpinned by sustained, strong levels of A&P, with ever more focus on making it work harder for us. So never a dull moment, is there, Franck? Do you want to wrap up this section?
Indeed, Tamara. That's just a whistle-stop tour of the evolution we are leading, taking our existing strengths and stretching them further. So we are set for the future growth generation. In summary, we have shared that we have a fantastic portfolio of brands and operate in 6 attractive categories, and we see promising headroom for growth in each. We have a clear track record in driving sustained performance in consumer healthcare and in these categories. We have our own approach to building superior brands that deliver growth. We serve 1.5 billion consumers today with the ambition to add 1 billion more. And lastly, we are committed and energized to continue advancing our capabilities. And with that, let me hand over to Filippo.